Good morning, welcome to your daily blast of inspiration. Hopefully you're still being inspired. That's what we'll talk about today. Rebecca, once again, opens her front door after her routine. She already expects it. She finishes her yoga and meditation, opens the front door, and she even got there before the royal guard got there. She saw the royal guard walking up. Royal guard walks up, he does his singing telegram, and he blows his trumpet, and he hands her a gold paper. On the paper, she opens it up, and it says, message from Dad, don't forget about Harold. Harold. Oh, Harold, the fiddler. Oh, I remember Harry the Fiddler. And she thinks about Harold, and she remembers way back when, about 20 years before, Harold was the fiddler for the king. And at a certain point, Harold wasn't just a fiddler. There's a reason why the king chose him. Harold was the best fiddler in the entire country. But at a certain point, they were going back and forth about whether they had to let Harold go and bring in some new fresh blood, new fresh person. But the king, of course, didn't want to fire Harold. He had been a fantastic fiddler for the king for so many years. So the king sits down with Harold, and he's talking about the situation. And the king said to Harold, there's just something missing about your music these days. There's something off. And Harold talks to the king. He says, what do you mean? There's no one in this entire country. You couldn't find a person who could fiddle better than me. The king says, it's not the music. There's something missing. What is it? And Harold thinks about it for a little bit. And Harold's like, I don't know what it is. And the king says, I know what it is, Harold. I know what it is. You forgot about why you're playing the fiddle. You've lost your excitement for it. You're so good at it. You just play it. But the heart and the soul, Harold, the reason you got this job, the reason we hired you, the reason you've been here for so long is because of the heart and soul that goes into your playing the fiddle. And right now it's not there. You got to find a way to bring it back. So the king said, I'm going to give you a week, Harold, to figure this out. Harold went off, and he started thinking about in the past, way back when he first started his young Harold self as the fiddler. And he started to get really excited. And the next time he came to play, it was a little more exciting. And the next time after that, even more exciting. He got super psyched. The problem was he lost his heart and soul. Why was he doing what he was doing? We so often, there's so many aspects of our Judaism, of our relationship with Hashem, our relationship with ourselves and our community, that we've just been doing the do. We've been doing the routine for so long, and we do a great job of that routine. But there's something missing. There's something missing. And that's what Shabbos helps us do. That's what Shabbos and the shofar help us do. They help us to stop, reconnect, rekindle that light. We need to stop over a Shabbos and think about our routines. But even Shabbos sometimes is a victim of this. Yeah, I go to services and I sing the Kabbalat Shabbat. I go home and I make Kiddush and I eat the challah. But have we stopped to think about why we're doing it? Add a little bit of meaning and purpose and perhaps be a little more mindful? Let's do that this Shabbos. We have this weekend to go ahead and slow down, take a breath, give a little speech before you do different mitzvos, different activities you do over the Shabbos. Let's think about why we're doing it. The special taste of Shabbos, the time of Shabbos. That's what we need to make sure we can infuse our week with. If we start off our week, start off our Shabbos by giving a little more mindfulness, thinking a little bit more about why we're doing what we're doing, we won't fall into the trap of the Harold. Let's not become victims of our lack of soul and our lack of heart. So over the course of Shabbos, make sure we stop and think a little bit. Just stop for a moment before we do it. We'll get so excited, we'll remind ourselves the excitement of it. The fact that why we do it, how we do it. So that's our blessing for the Shabbos as we head into Shabbos. Prepare ourselves. Think a little bit before we do things. Don't just do it. Have an awesome Shabbos, a Shabbos filled with inspiration, a Shabbos that gives us the energy to make a whole nother week, God willing, next week, of excitement, of doing our routines, but not out of routine, but doing it out of excitement. Have a tremendous Shabbos. Let's blast into that Shabbos together. wonderful Shabbos filled with meaning and purpose.